Okay. All right. Okay. Hi, Teresa. How are you?
I'm doing well, Allie. Thank you so much for taking some time to meet with me today.
Yeah, absolutely. I heard you're
I've been
having,
looking forward to our conversation.
yes, me too. I heard you're having maybe a little issue with one of our new students.
Oh, yes. Yeah,
Tell me what's going
it's been
on.
a challenge, a little bit of a challenging transition. So I'm really looking forward to any advice or feedback that you can offer so
Sure.
that we can get Joseph some more support.
Okay. Um, oh, so it's Joseph. Okay, perfect. So tell me what do you know about Joseph? I know he just entered here. Let's see, it looks like this fall.
Yep.
Okay.
Hmm.
And he is working in our EBD classroom, so he's on an IEP.
He is. Yep.
Okay.
I believe that this diagnosis is pretty new. So he's only been on his IEP for a little bit.
Okay.
So I think part of maybe this conversation is looking at kind of what is working with his IEP and what's not,
Mhm.
and how we can better support him.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. So what has been going on so far? Why did you want to involve me? How can I help?
Yeah. So yeah, Allie, like you said, he's a newer student to our school. He's an eighth grader, and at the beginning, our relationship seemed like it was really positive. Things were going really well.
Mhm.
He's got for the most part, a really good attitude. He's very polite. So, our first interactions were really positive. And then I think maybe I spoke too soon. And a couple of weeks later, there was a lot of issues with behavior happening, within that first month. There were
What
issues with
happened?
so there was a few fights that broke out that he
Okay.
seemed to initiate.
Mm,
Lots of like inappropriate language and swearing.
okay.
And what really concerned me was the threats that he was directing towards some of his teachers.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to look in his behavior plan and see more about that.
Yeah, and I
Um,
think, as the or the assistant principal, most of the information that I know and that I'm sharing with you today has come from teachers who have shared concerns with me. And I've
mhm.
also had some interactions with Joseph, but they've been more, after the fact, after something has happened.
Okay.
But I do remember like when we first kind of brought Joseph in, and especially after those first couple of incidents happened, we had a conversation with his dad and his stepmom who he lives with, and it was
Okay.
really just like, Joseph, really, this has happened before, and this is really your last chance. And he's been to a
Mm.
couple of schools, he's been through the system many times, and
Let
he
me
just really needs to get it together.
Yeah, let me stop you for a second. You said that when you talked to him, you told him this was his last chance. Do you remember how he kind of responded to hearing that?
So if I remember correctly, he was pretty indifferent about it. It was like he kind of just like gave me this look, kind of shrugged, and something along the lines of like, I've heard this before and I really don't care.
Okay.
So
Did
he didn't receive that very well. It didn't seem like it was something that provided any additional motivation for him.
Yeah.
It sounds like maybe he's just, you know, kind of been there, done that.
Okay. One thing that I want to encourage is moving forward is making sure that we can try to use that positive, encouraging language with Joseph.
Hmm.
He is new to our school, he's new in our community. And so I just think, focusing on encouraging language, instead of saying this is your last chance, just making sure that he knows that, he has a new beginning here, and that we are excited to support him and watch him achieve his goals, and that he does have many people here who are on his side. Um,
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
think I'm just kind of putting myself maybe in his shoes a little bit as just a new eighth grader, not really knowing anybody, and having somebody tell him that. And if that seems familiar to him, I feel like that would probably posit him to shut down. And so I think moving forward, if we could focus more on maybe even positive affirmations with him, that could be one step in the right direction. Um, and I apologize for cutting you off. I just was wondering more about his response to that. So yeah, go ahead and keep going with your thoughts.
No, you did not cut me off at all. I think this is why we're involving you in this conversation, Allie, because like I never thought about it like that or how that could have affected him in that way. So I
Hmm.
think that's definitely like a really great suggestion. Um,
Great.
do you have any recommendations for affirmations or like what do you think would like how do
Yeah,
I do that?
I think you did you explained in a really positive way that he had a really great first month, and now that we're into October, things have gotten kind of out of hand a little bit. Some behavior issues here that I'm looking at, and so I'm just kind of wondering what triggered this spark in him to start going off.
Uh,
I'm wondering how his relationships have been building here at school. I wonder, do you know about his home life at all? I know you mentioned he lives with dad and stepmom, so I'm wondering about maybe like a family change group. I guess I could definitely
mm,
call dad. Well, you know what I'm going to do? Sorry, I'm kind of all over the place with this.
you're doing great.
I think I'm going to set up a time this week by the end of the week to meet with Joseph. And I think start building that relationship with him and kind of see maybe what's going on at home. Um,
Awesome.
and like you said, so some positive affirmations. I can send you a great link that I have. So something that if you do ever talk to him again, or if we have a meeting with him, just encouraging words such as, um, he is smart, he's capable, um, he is worthy. Any goal he sets, he can achieve. Um, you know,
Let me write those down. I really like those. Thank you. Those are
yeah,
some
and
really good examples.
yeah, and it's kind of easy to kind of come up with them on a whim, especially when you know a lot about a student. Um, it sounds like yeah, it sounds like he just has some challenges going on that I'm really eager to get to know. So I'm really glad that you brought him to my attention.
Yeah, and I really like the idea of you contacting him because I think the more people we can get on his team and on his side, the better for sure.
Yeah, and saying that, even, I think it would be effective if we could have a meeting maybe one day with his teachers, um,
Yes.
and find out more about what he likes. Do you know when you got to talk to him, do you know any of his interests at all, or did that dad mention anything?
Yeah, so I know he's really into sports, and the
Okay.
conversations we've had, like, that has been, like, a constant. He's always talking about sports. He's super knowledgeable, always spitting out different facts about sports teams. That's something that I've heard from his teachers as well. I think some of the frustration is, like, he's spending all of this time he's so knowledgeable, we know he's so smart, but he's not applying himself in any of his, like with any of his homework or his classwork.
Mhm.
It almost seems like a lot of times there's a power struggle involved of like nobody can make me do this, and a lot
Oh.
of times I think with the teachers it just that power struggle they're engaging in, and it's
Mhm.
making it difficult to move forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, then I think all the better to have a meeting with his teachers,
Hmm.
because I could definitely kind of help provide some support for them as well. I think, giving Joseph maybe some tasks and some jobs in the classroom could really help him kind of have that sense of a little bit of control that he could have.
Yeah, and it's so funny you say that because I know that he like that's something that he really kind of thrives on is having those like he really likes like passing out worksheets to students
Okay,
or having
that's
those little
really good
jobs.
to know.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
that's extremely helpful. So if that worked for him before and, kind of helped him stay de-escalated, then I think that would be great. I think supporting the teachers also in learning some SEL skills around
Mm,
his anger could be really helpful. We could teach him just a few different tricks for that. And I could certainly, meet with him more often and talk about that stuff too. I'm just trying to think of other ways that we can support him all together. I think um, we could talk to his teachers about this too, but just off the top of my head, I'm wondering if he would be a good fit for our buddy program in gym class. Um,
Yes.
Having him help
I didn't
out
think of
with
that.
the younger grades, kind of give him that role of, somebody maybe a little bit more in charge and a little authority. And
Yeah.
he could help coach some of the students who are younger than him.
Yeah,
And
I
we
could see
could,
him really, really enjoying having kind of a leadership role, and what
okay.
a good idea to connect it with something he loves, like sports.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah, and we can see how that goes. I mean, we could really take this one week at a time. Like I said, I really think building that connection with him will be huge for me and his teachers. And you're always welcome to sit in our meetings. I think it could definitely be useful for him to see that you are actually here. You want him here. He feels a sense of
Yeah.
belonging in our school, in our community. Um, and I'm just trying to think what else. I think with the teachers, maybe he could even help them create curriculum, and present about like his favorite sports team and get credit for it or something like that. And every week maybe could be something different, something where he's involved.
Yeah, doing some, like, projects, that's an idea.
Mhm. So why don't we go ahead and schedule a meeting for, let's see, it's Wednesday. Monday morning, I'll send out an email to get his teachers together. Does that time work well for you?
Yeah,
And we can
Ellie,
kind
thank
of
you for
start the
taking
weekend
the initiative on that.
refreshed.
I've got my schedules open for that time right now, and I
Perfect.
really
Yeah.
think I appreciate the perspective that you brought to this conversation, and just how I think having the teachers all together and establishing some consistency is gonna be
Mhm.
tremendously helpful for Joseph.
I absolutely agree. I think, our goal here, like I said, is to really just provide him a safe, encouraging, welcoming community. We don't know if he's had that before. And I just don't think he's feeling that quite yet. So
Could
I'm
be.
I'm excited to get to know him, and I'm
Yeah, I
excited
think you
that
guys you are gonna work really well with him.
yeah, yeah, he sounds like a fun one. So I will keep you posted on progress throughout this week. Like I said, I will email his teachers, set up a meeting with him just to check in, um, and we will go from there. And then Monday morning, hopefully teachers will be on board, and yeah, we can all just kind of build a little support team for Joseph and get him going on his goals.
Right on, I love that plan.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for reaching out to me. I appreciate your time,
Yeah,
and I will talk to you soon about Mr. Joseph.
okay, thanks, Allie.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Teresa. Bye bye.